Radio. Bienvenue, je l'ai de Berg.
Velkommen,
Bienvenidos.
Han Jung.
Vitiatiatatje.
Ashimaset.
Povitania.
Hoi Ying.
Dabra Pajalovic. No. What? Transcription of Russian. Jeez. Добро пожаловать.
His pronunciation.
Thank you for that.
But I read it in Russian for you.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
looking,
so
but
you
I'm
can
looking
read-
on the second one.
But then you're reading the English one? I knew this would trip you up. Yeah.
Hysterical, man.
I did it. All the ones which have Cyrillic, I wrote it in Cyrillic. So
Hysterical.
Bulgarian and Mongolian, you can read also in Cyrillic.
Marhaban. Oh, marhaban sounds amazing.
Marhaban.
Marhaban.
Salmat datang.
Salmadatan. Ongi Torion. What is the Japanese Basque?
Swagat.
Swagat. Dobro došli.
Taftai Muril.
Ciao morning.
Teretulamast.
Oh, welkomst.
Hoş geldiniz.
Ke aloha mai. Ke
Welcome.
aloha mai. Hey,
Ke
wait a minute.
aloha mai.
Mai. Ooh.
Yes.
That sounds amazing. I have a
I thought you would like that one, the Hawaiian. 'Cause
vibration.
You're a big
Ooh.
aloha.
Yeah, aloha.
You're an aloha enthusiast.
I was started first, like Japanese.
I didn't say anything about that. So it's my fault for allowing you to bring that racist bullshit around.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Like, racism is stupid.
here.
What about
Says
nationalism, dude? What do you think about nationalism?
I hate nationalism.
So you think it's the same class as the racism, basically?
Actually,
It
yeah.
all goes to the tribalism,
It-
basically.
It's all made up.
Small amount of people, like, and everybody else is strangers.
Nations are made up. They're a made up concept. Even like skin color and ethnicity, at least that's not made up. Like at least actually people are different. Nations, what is England
Cultures.
versus
What about cultures?
Cultures though can be different even within a nation. You could have a multicultural nation. You know, there's many of them in the world where there's like different groups of people that are all in the same one. Russia actually is a great example of that because even Russia is the Russian Federation.
But you have, well, a lot of countries like this. China, same too.
Yeah,
Many different countries.
Yeah, it's like basically like a union of countries. Even the United States has many countries inside of it, or states,
Hey,
because
states.
it's the United States. That was the whole point, right? So nationalism is basically the dumbest of all of them because it's where people get proud about shit which is 100% made up. I'm an anarchist, man. I don't like countries. I think the rise of nation states was a major bad point for humanity.
Welcome back. Welcome.
We are back.
We are back. My back, my neck, my body, and my neck.
Oh my God. Dude,
Shackety-clack.
Well, January, mate. 2025, according to the
We made it.
youngest calendar. So let's
Yeah.
talk about everything, man.
What is
Let's-
important?
Let's summarize the whole last year of experience for us. Like,
Let's try to summarize it in the shortest amount possible.
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
always.
So I think like one sentence would be like
Oh.
very right. But actually, like one sentence is like long. That's a lot of words. So if we were to
We're
summarize,
creating a label for the last year.
so yeah, if we were to really summarize it, we would really need to say the whole of 2024 in one word.
Okay, so what would be for you, for example?
Honestly, like
Honestly, hopefully,
yeah, hopefully, amazingly, actually,
you know.
intelligently, you know.
Oh my God.
Don't say this. You plant the seeds of my demise. This is my poison word.
We found our words parasites.
Yeah, we've been listening to ourselves and reviewing this beautiful podcast that we do for you beautiful people, and we have realized many things. And we're not going to share those things with you right now. What we're going to do is we're going to share the learnings by actually changing. And that's what it means to learn. Learning means changing. Do you believe this?
I don't believe in anything, man.
Well, we've already done this show 100 times. I will not. You do. You believe that you're doing a podcast with me, and I believe it's amazing. So we move on.
For me, it's a totally different word for that.
Yeah,
Don't have nothing to do with believing.
Semantic bullshit.
You see what-
Okay.
So last year, let's say everything.
Everything. In
put it
one
5
word.
words. 1 to 5 words. Like
1 to 5 words.
few words. Just let's stay sharp.
I'm gonna say one. I'm gonna stay true to my original. I'm gonna say it in one word. Blessed.
Blessed.
Yes,
Whole
it's a
year?
little bit cliche, but it's I feel extremely blessed. But 24 was the culmination of an extreme amount of blessings in my life, and I
Yeah.
can talk about them later. But what is your 1 to 5
I think
words?
that's the word for that, but I also had in mind like transformative. Like because of that,
Transformative,
because of a lot of
interesting.
blessings,
Yes.
transformative.
So we're going to talk about this. How was 2024 transformative for you?
Well, seems like this year was year of very fast grow faster than usual. Yeah, it feels like it's time to come out of the twilight zone.
Interesting.
I sound
interesting.
poetic.
A little bit
mean,
mysterious.
Mysterious.
So what does this mean for your life to come out of the twilight zone?
Just be more open to people, you know. I'm such a crap, such a hermit. I'm like, just hiding in my shell, like
You just like the world that we've made though is
purity.
it is like
I'm like a diagen.
no the world that we live in out there, they have destroyed community and made isolation the normal thing.
Wow,
And-
very good at that.
And so and then all of us have like some of this, and actually that's why it's so important to come together and to meet with people. You know, honestly, did you know this fact about cats? If you have a cat, it will live longer if you get another cat.
Friends, yeah.
So everyone says like, oh, friends, but actually sometimes you get another cat and they fucking hate each other.
Relationships. That's what.
So
Yeah.
actually what it is, even if they hate each other, it's still like keeping the other cat active with this relationship, this other energetic bond, right? It's like keeping them going. It's sustaining some part of their life force
It's also a
in
role
some
model
way.
too.
And-
Model, and they learn from each other.
They
too.
learn from each
Yeah.
other. They also maybe one of them is like, you know, like he jumps up on the stove when the fire is going and he burns his whiskers, and the other one goes, "Oh shit, I'm not gonna do that. That smells terrible, and it looks like he burned his face."
Yeah.
You know, maybe they learn from each other in that way, like humans learn from each other in that way, and monkeys too. You know, like monkey see, monkey do, right? But isn't that funny? So this is how do we apply this to our own life? Get
So, yeah. So
get
what's the
another
message?
person.
What's the message?
Yeah, get another person in your life, even if people piss you off. Because this is the thing: is sometimes it's tempting. We don't want to go out of our comfort zone. The comfort zone is me. I have to live with me. Fortunately or unfortunately, I share a body and a mind with me.
So
right?
yeah,
So
it's
that's
all
not
about
optional,
How fast you get bored with yourself, so you start evolution.
Well,
of-
but then also how tolerant you are of other people. So what I'm saying is, even though sometimes it's annoying to be around other people, it's very important to do it because we're social creatures. Human being is meant to be balanced. You can't be always in some people, they're obsessed with like friends going out. Like, you know, some people are afraid to eat alone, and they associate the act of eating alone with being like depressed or like a sad person. I'm like, no, it means you have food and you need to eat it. Like, it's that simple. It's nothing to
Sounds
do
like
with
a
that.
childhood trauma. or
Yeah,
some sort.
yeah. But I didn't realize it's actually like a common thing at least in American or North American society. Eating alone, and some people, they were even saying, it was
That's
like
when
in
you
this
get
comment
punished,
thread.
right? They're punished, like, oh, you go in
Yeah,
your
go
room,
in the
alone.
corner.
Eat
Yeah,
alone.
yeah,
That's where it's
you're
coming
right.
from. Yeah.
Oh, it's like a childhood trauma situation.
Yeah.
So I've heard about that, but I think that means
Speaking of which, I just remembered the phrase that you truly become you the moment when you unlearn all the indoctrination you
Yeah.
got through. Like people,
yeah.
everything you are, it's what other people put it in you.
Yeah.
But when you get to the point where you drop all these viewpoints of other people, you become truly you. Yeah, it's a not everybody achieved this in a lifetime. It's a hard journey.
It's
Unlearning what you've been indoctrinated with.
it's so interesting because, like, you know, there is an argument to be made that, like, creating ideologies has made human beings successful. Because who's successful? All these countries that are like, like America, for example. These people showed up, Europeans showed up in, the 18th century, really the late 17th century. They show up, they start living in this country, and because they had ideologies that said, we need to take this land, and we're not gonna stop. We're gonna go all the way to the other coast, 3,000 miles across this continent. We're gonna take the whole thing. That's why there is America. That's why the country that we live in, that we're in right now,
Piracy.
It's straight up piracy, theft, raping and pillaging, like all of that. But at the same time, ideology did that. They didn't do that. People didn't do that because they showed up and they were terrible people and they're like, we want to inflict harm on these people. They did it because there were these ideologies that convinced them that it's okay for us to do this. In fact, it's good for us to do this.
Huh?
Right? And not only excusing, even like promoting, like we need to give them religion. Like the Spanish were great at it in the Catholic Church, right? They show up, they build a mission, and then they take all the local people who are just like minding their own business, worshiping their own gods. They're making art and having children, and they have their whole way of life. And they come in and they go, no, this is all wrong. Why? Because of ideology. But then look at the Catholic Church. It was incredibly successful and extremely, even to this day, extremely wealthy and powerful, influential throughout the world.
Well, who does the longest have probably more opportunities right now, because there are some families that 2, 3, 5,000 years old,
Yeah.
Continuous power. Like, why they want to share it with anybody?
No, of course not. And they get really good at keeping their power, holding on to their power and all of these
Human psyche is not
things.
so complicated. We're not very far from monkeys, man.
Yeah. It's monkeys, and then you add guns and money,
And a lot of cocaine.
Yeah, well,
Jesus Christo.
yeah, Bitcoin and freaking 3D printed guns, and before you know it, there's all kinds of AI drone swarms, and
Yeah, I don't want to invest my mind into that. Yeah, it's too much.
it's intense.
Yeah. Or. All right. So,
Human psyche.
blessed 2024.
Blessed. You want to hear
So-
why? You want to hear why I'm blessed?
Yeah,
For
like-
2024. So, this year was really like a culmination of many things. I feel like I spent. First of all, let's just say this: I've been blessed every year of my life. Even years where I was really depressed, where I was in a living situation that was bad, abusive, or not safe, or whatever. I've been through many different things in my life. I was still blessed at those times.
Yeah, but how this year was
But
blessed
this
in a
year,
different way. Yeah.
this year was different for me because I really had like omni-bless experience. Like I blessed on omni-blessed on multi levels because I have, let's say, I will just count off a few of the blessings, and they're in different categories. I get a new place to live that is much more stable than what I had before, and that's really good. I have a relationship with my girlfriend that got more, deeper, more beautiful in many ways. So that was an amazing blessing as well. I got a job that I really love my job. I'm learning how to do lots of new things. The pay is good, and it's super close to my house. I can even ride my bike. I don't even need to use a car. Amazing, right?
Yeah, I saw you riding the bike, so happy. And look,
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I
It's a
show you
video.
that video of me
So
like,
funny.
look at me.
it was a very cool video.
I mean, yeah. I haven't ridden my bike to work since I lived in Venice Beach, or I lived in Santa Monica, in Dogtown, and I rode to work in Venice Beach down behind Abbot Kinney in a small advertising agency that I worked at
Nice.
many years ago. Jesus, that was a long time ago. Anyway, I loved it then. I would ride along the beach, like along the Venice boardwalk sometimes in the mornings, just like, or ride down there and get like sushi or like pupusas.
Papusa cervezas,
Dude, you can get
muchachos.
pupusas and sushi right next to each other in these two little things. So you get like some little tiny sushi with they take the quail egg and like just put the yolk of a quail egg, raw yolk, on top of the fish eggs, on top of the on top of the fish egg.
Tell me the story again. Just tell me the story, but in form
But
of
yeah.
the haiku.
In form of haiku. That makes it a lot more difficult.
Way less words too.
I was blessed.
I was blessed.
My health wasn't bad. I had a few small things, but actually like getting better. And then, blessed in relationships, blessed in money by the job that I got. And I had work before I got my new job. I had handyman work, like a lot of it, which was helping me, like pay the bills and stuff, which was great. It's awesome. We have a special guest today
Whoa,
on our
special
program.
Special effects. Super blessed.
Blessed with my housing situation, money, relationships, and I have a job that's teaching me many new things. And just all in all, very good.
That's nice.
Very good year.
Okay.
And going into, I feel like also there's actually more than that. It's probably at least 2 more points, because that makes 7 points. There's one, at least like on a spiritual level, I felt like I'm actually
Growth.
growth, like actually doing something
Yeah.
about, being in this world
Yeah.
and suffering, doing the mind training, so that like we have this amazing mind, these faculties of thinking and feeling, and like, what is it? How is it working? Why is it working? Sometimes I feel like my mind is not working, right? Like not working how I want it to. But there's good news. You can train your mind just like you can train your muscles. You can train your mouth. You can train even like people who like smell and taste wine and whiskey and stuff. They train even their nose, right?
I had this thought yesterday
You
about
can train
that,
your mind
about
too.
that our idea behind the training the mind is like we want to transform the box of your mind into the nailer, battery operated nailer. Different kind of like
So your
shape,
mind, instead of your
flexible.
mind,
Instead of being a box, it's
instead of
more
your
like
mind being a
tool,
box, your mind is
becoming a tool.
a battery-powered air nailer.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's like a tool, instead of like being a box.
Where did the joint go?
Where did it John go? I mean, that's one of my crazy original thoughts.
I love this thought, dude. This is
They make
great.
me laugh so hard, dude.
It's great. It's making me laugh right now. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. Yes, your mind is a box. If your mind is a box, we want to unbox your mind. Do
make a
like,
plane with
have you
no
seen how popular unboxing videos are on YouTube? Sometimes they get millions of views.
You know what most popular thing on YouTube? If you want to go that way and
I don't-
be
I-
rich, you know what's the most popular thing?
I don't know. What is the most popular
It's
thing?
small children lullabies. 2 billion views, 3 billion views.
Jesus Christ, really?
You know why? Because you gotta always run it.
Yeah, because they put it on.
They put
because
it
the
on.
children-
It's
they need the
ongoing
kid
for
to-
years. It's
Oh
like
my God, dude! Well, let's make a lullaby
yes.
right now.
5 billion views. It's like billions of dollars, bro. You gotta do some text or something. That sounds like very intense.
12 hours later.
Pistolet.
Pistolet! Buchtalat. Dude. What a life.
It is an amazing life, but yes, I feel omni-blessed. 2024 was amazing. I got to witness a total eclipse while spinning a prayer wheel with 174 billion mantras inside of it.
And think in this moment, while bankers count their interest, I'm counting my blessings.
I'm counting my blessings, exactly. I'm counting my merit, baby. And I'm dedicating that merit to the liberation from suffering of all sentient beings.
Very delicious. Don't you? So, if you think this way, have you ever heard this phrase that pain is the language of God?
Pain is the language of God. I have not heard that before.
So, if suffering is the language of God, so why make everybody not to suffer?
Well, suffering is an incredible teacher, if you let it be. But then pleasure can be an incredible teacher if you let it be.
Even
if you let
medicine
it
can be a poison in huge doses.
Of course, everything.
So it's all about moderation, right?
Well, it's all about the correct dosage and everything. Every time somebody talks about a toxin, they need to detoxify their body, or, this is a toxic substance, a toxic spill, blah, blah, blah. All of these things, it all depends on the amount, right? And usually they're using it correctly, meaning like a toxic amount of this thing. Like in your body, what is the right amount of lead? Is 0.
So yeah, toxic. It's a quality of amount, like volume.
But it's really the dosage, because then many things like oxygen, the thing that you need literally for your brain to function
I wanna talk
and
with
to
you
stay
about that.
alive.
Hey.
Oxygen is literally like poisonous if you have it over, and it's not even a lot. It's not like even it needs to be 100% pure and then you get problems. It's like no, like even if you have like 20% pure oxygen, it's going to be like oxidizing your skin even, and your lungs and your blood cells. Everything gets oxidized more, including metals, even rusts. They are the oxidation, all of these things. Yet without oxygen, you die, right?
Yeah, was my first thing on the list I want to talk with you about. It's the moment when carbon life, like prokaryotes, met with mitochondria, which was oxygen-based life, and how they tame them like a little dogs, and then attach them to themselves, and they become one like a living being, and that's where we are. So we start being able to process oxygen.
That's amazing. This before.
There's the moment of when we get oxygenated. Before it was carbon.
You're talking about the union before even animal life is created. Wow. That's deep.
I mean, I didn't mean to. I just was interested about the oxygen, because oxygen and carbon relationships we talked about before. And then I also learned when babies get born, in some cultures, like a long time ago, they put them in material when they're born, and they make the material very tight. So baby have very hard time to breathe.
Yeah, it's called swaddling.
Swaddling, and the reason for that is because they don't breathe a lot of oxygen when they're born, so they still on a carbon kind of like a diet until they become adjusted to oxygen. And apparently it does some great influence to the way your brain develops and the way your blood system develops and the capillaries.
They're not getting the oxygen too suddenly at the beginning.
Too much, yeah. And that's a very old tradition in some cultures. So I was curious.
Interesting. That is very fascinating.
Yeah, very fascinating. But the concept of this question was how come they met, and how come they got united?
Yeah, how come they hooked up?
Prokaryotes and mitochondria. Yeah.
How did prokaryotic cells become eukaryotic cells?
Mitochondria, it's the bacteria that only women kind of delegate to their daughters. It
Yeah,
only
the-
comes from mothers.
The genetics only comes from the female.
And I assume
side of the
prokaryotes, they
lineage.
were mans.
Maybe so.
So like, maybe that's the first moment where men and women got united.
Well,
Hey.
and they didn't just get united like for one time, like in sex. They're united temporarily. They became united literally forever, where it became self-replicating,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
inside the other.
But it's too kind of deep. I see.
It's very deep. Yeah,
It's
I love
very
it,
deep.
man. I love
Jeez.
it. I love it, my friend. I
Yeah,
love it.
we're such a carbon creatures.
Gangnam Style.
Question: what do you think about morphic resonance?
I don't think it exists.
Too much. You don't think too much. Why not? You
I
think the
don't-
one rat that learned something on this side of the planet not gonna transfer knowledge through the egregor of all rats to the other side of the planet?
That's collective consciousness.
It's called morphic resonance.
No, morphic resonance has to do with the shape. Morph. Morph means like shape in Greek.
Oh, you take it literally. Okay.
No, like but morphic resonance means like that things have a knowledge that comes from their shape.
Yeah, but that's not what I meant. Yeah.
Well, that collective consciousness, I do believe in.
Oh, you have beliefs. Hey. there you go.
We covered this in another podcast.
Another gun-
You also have beliefs.
Really?
Yes, you have many.
Name one.
You believe that you were talking.
Huh?
You believe that we're making a podcast right now.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm just being.
have a good night then.
No, I'm just being. I'm not believing in that.
If you don't believe we're making a podcast, then why do I come out here and do this?
Why are you so attached to this word belief?
Why are you burning all of your gas?
Oh no, I'm like a torch. I like to be torched.
You already have the light. Man.
No, you have the light. You have the light.
I am the light. I am the light.
Yeah, I see. Well, tell me more.
Yeah, well, you wanted to talk about you called it morphic resonance, but
Yes.
I believe that to be a different thing. But
Okay.
if one rabbit learns something on one side of the planet,
Rabbit.
then I don't think it probably teaches every rabbit everywhere all the time.
You don't think so?
No, but if enough rabbits do,
What if there is a
what
rabbit?
if like half the rabbits
What if
learn
there's a
that
rabbit
thing?
heaven and they all go there like I learned that like dude, but I think it's more spontaneous, like instant
Well, what would be the reason? That's the real thing.
evolution. Always a reason. Become
Yeah.
excellence, like survival, like
Yep.
kind of. It's the fastest way. Like imagine how many ants on the planet,
Yeah, many.
like more than humans.
Oh yeah,
And imagine like
trillions.
trillions of ants in a spherical like Earth capsule. Don't you think they all connected together? With
Yeah, I mean, I think
spherical.
everything is though connected. Not just the ants connected to the ants. We are also connected to the ants.
What about all ants connected to ants, flies connected to flies, we connected to us first, and then we're all connected.
Yeah, probably you have more connection to some things than others. Like, am I more connected to another human being, or am I more connected to like an octopus?
Octopus.
Probably to another
It's
human
like
being.
8 times puss. Oh my god.
I know.
stop it.
I know. I also got excited when I heard the term.
Is it that time?
I mean, do you feel like you do you feel? I feel like you
I
feel.
feel like it's.
I feel like we feel the feel you feel. You know.
the feeling that you're feeling is probably the feeling that I'm feeling.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because we're all part of one thing, which
Thank you
is
for
life.
translating.
Life is just living itself. It's one thing, living itself. We think-
Living itself.
we think it's a million things, but
That's
it's
a
not.
million things, but it's a door. We can sing too. Just for now, so we don't forget.
Something, but I can't remember.
So recently they found the animal with the largest genome. It has like 500 times the amount of data in its DNA of the human genome.
And how is he using it? Yeah.
This animal is a worm.
Okay.
It's like a type of like tiny worm.
So worm is more developed than humans.
I think we need a different word, not developed, right? Because like it has a lot of information. What's it doing with it? It's just being a worm. So it's like, wow, we have this crazy amount of genes, like thousands, like hundreds of thousands more genes than human. What's it doing with it? Did it invent some crazy society.
Maybe just a librarian holding all this information to survive the
exactly. Maybe that's what it is.
simplest way, like
May-
simplest organism to survive the
Or
longest.
maybe every time it comes into contact with another organism, it's like downloading their genome and making
Eat
it part
me.
of itself.
Oh yeah, so he's like a
Like
DNA,
vampire
no,
of
it's like
DNA.
No, DNA sample. So you eat me, a worm, and you get whole
You
library
get
of all
everything.
genes.
You
Yeah.
get all
And
of
you
the
can-
beings.
Your body can
yeah.
pick and choose like which way evolution gonna go based on my gene DNA. Yeah,
So it's the ultimate wild card.
it's like a library card.
Yeah.
Basically. Worms are librarians. Like
Worms are librarians.
if you're saying that they have 500 times more.
Emotional damage. Well, one of the things I was thinking about also is one that you said last time, talking about like, you know, having life purpose and becoming more like Brahma.
Yeah.
You know, like wait a minute, like
Non-destruction, no mating.
what's my life purpose? Is
Yeah.
it, am I Shiva? Am I to destroy? Well, I've
It
destroyed.
could be, it's
I've
nice,
destroyed
like
things. Yeah,
exercise and
it's
stuff,
good
yeah, but
exercise.
it's not
yeah,
like
but it's
you.
not me. It's
not
not
your
good,
main,
man.
it's not your main.
I used to pick up free furniture from
Yeah.
Craigslist, and I would take it to my workshop. And if it wasn't very good, sometimes you pick it up and you're like, wait, this thing's made of MDF. It's like a piece of shit. I'm not gonna use it in my workshop. It's gonna get broken.
Yeah.
I thought it was made of wood.
And now you
or I
gotta
thought it was
waste time to like trash it, more time.
Well, yeah, no, but then we would just take it back to the I lived in a warehouse, and I could take it back to the warehouse and just smash it with like baseball bats or hammers or something.
Yeah.
And it's fun, to destroy, but that's not my life purpose. I don't feel
Yeah.
called to do that, right? And then you said like, well, like maybe you're like Vishnu, are you a maintainer? I've maintained things,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Maintaining people's houses, maintaining people's gardens.
It doesn't feel like it's a primal.
It's
most
not my
critical-
push though.
Yeah,
It's
exactly,
not
yeah.
what's pulling me in. I can do it, and I have to. There's a certain amount of all of these things that we have to do because human beings are like divine, like amalgamation, because we're like all of these aspects of all of these different gods, but then combined with like the ignorance of being a human being as well. Where even more limited, even more ignorant. So we end up having this existence down here on Earth, and if we had been born as gods, then we would have the existence up there like gods, right? But instead we're down here being humans. Anyway, the point
Which is
is
harder.
the point is you
It's
said
way harder to be a human than God.
no, maybe in many ways. But that's why we have to come down and pass this level, the more difficult level, and then you can go on to being a god. But first you have to learn as a human being, right? Because if they made me a god today, I would be a bad god. I would be
Really?
a
You
bad
think
god
so?
right today.
Really?
Yes, because I still am.
Why?
I still have ignorance.
Really?
Yeah, there's still like bigotry and
No way.
stereotypes and things like that. Yeah, I work on it a lot, and I'm a much better person than I have to give up so much of like societal thinking. But it's not finished yet. Occasionally I catch myself thinking like something about some person making stereotypes, or if something is like hurting you or hurting someone that you love or whatever, you feel like, man, like fuck those people. If you have any of those feelings when you're a god, oh man, that's gonna lead to suffering for like millions of beings, because if you get a little frustrated. And you ever read like the Greek mythology?
Yeah.
They're just assholes, man, because the gods are like them, like people. The Greek gods are really like people, but they have like superpowers, But it's like Zeus, he's like, hey, those girls over there, I'm gonna go talk to them, and he just like fucks everything that moves, And then his wife is like angry and turning people into cows and swans and stuff.
God.
Did you fuck my husband? I turn you into a cow,
Yeah,
or
it seems like emotional mastery. It's a very valuable thing, a fundamental value, not only for humans but for everyone.
even for the gods, and that's why we have to be at this human.
Fred Rogers. What do you think about this guy?
Mr. Rogers.
Emotional mastery, yeah.
Mr. Rogers is
Yeah.
amazing, dude. Yeah,
That's what he was teaching people too,
to love each other.
to master the emotions. Yeah. Have you ever heard the song they made the remix with his like words? And I sent
No.
it. Amazing. I sent it to you. I love the song. That's how I discovered this guy. But anyway, emotional mastery
Emotional mastery
and altruism
and altruism.
and curiosity. Three fundamental immeasurables
Wow,
in my world.
they are immeasurable. Curiosity is amazing.
That's
It's
where it all
truly-
begins.
Yeah, it's truly the key to everything. If you're not curious, oof, I pity you. I literally have pity for you. Like, I feel so bad for you if you're not curious about life. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. There are many, many people out there that have never tried to sing at all. In their life, they've never tried to sing. And there's even more people that have never seen how high they can sing and how low they can sing, because you have the ability to sing high and sing low. And most people don't know how high they can sing or how low they can sing. They just don't know it. They don't understand. They never tried it out.
They never test their limits. Yeah.
I'm like, that to me is like as fundamental as like never seeing yourself naked in the
Dude, seriously.
Joy is the fuel for fate.
Boom radio.
How about storytelling?
I was thinking about that too. The last weekend. Stories are really like a human like speciality, you know? That's how we explain everything in life is with stories. Like everything from political events, religion, everything. Who you are to yourself, there's a story of who you are. You don't tell yourself that story very often, right? But literally, there's a story of everything. There's a story of how we got here today. And humans tell stories. That's how we pass on important information, you know? It's how we pass on the important, like, stories are how we transmit culture as well, because there's a reason why we do things culturally, and that reason is a story. What do you think about that?
Ooh. What do I think about storytelling? I know one thing for sure, that the storytelling is the number one skill. It doesn't matter. It's interclass skill. It doesn't matter what kind of society you're in. The number one quality that your people looking in you when they talk with you, it's a storytelling. So it
Interesting.
doesn't matter where you are. You talk with the king, you talk with the journalist, you talk with the MMA fighter, you talk with the person on the street. Everybody always looking for short, sweet, straight to the point, full of moral and ideas, story that inspires, and it's a skill. It's a skill, amazing skill. It takes sometimes lifetime to learn. Yeah, storytelling.
Sometimes lifetime to learn. Sometimes I feel like people are just really natural with it, you know?
Really natural, yeah, exactly.
Honestly, man,
Honestly, hopefully.
I think that I have that talent for storytelling.
Yes.
And I don't know if it came from seeing my dad do it all the time.
Because you write a lot of books, too.
No, I started a lot of books, but I haven't finished a lot of books.
Yeah, you're such a starter.
I'm a fire starter.
Yeah,
start the fire.
which brings me back to Brahma.
Brahma, exactly, yeah. You catalyst. Catalyst Brahman.
I wanna create. I wanna start the books, but I don't want to maintain and finish them, and I definitely don't destroy the books.
Yes, exactly.
I keep the books for a really long
Yeah.
time.
So for you, it's really dangerous to go to the bookstore because you're gonna have less and less space in your living room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's my dad. That's really my
Oh,
dad's
okay.
thing. My dad has 10,000 books in their garage,
Oh.
in boxes and on shelves and stuff, and
It
they
cost a lot of money.
just had the fires in LA, and that's where my parents are.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so he's got this garage that's filled with literally 10, 12,000 books,
You
something
can make
like
a lot
that.
of money on Amazon.
Yeah, but
Second bookstore,
they're not my books.
Yeah, I know, but if they either burn or they make money off
Well,
them.
that's just it. Yeah, it was, when a fire is coming towards your house, I think it really makes you question what is really important.
Exactly,
What is
yeah, yeah,
important,
yeah.
What are you going to put in the car? You got to go now. And yeah, they did have a fire that it started about like 4 or 5 miles from their house, but the wind was blowing the other way. And in about 5 hours,
So lucky,
it went
yeah.
from 50 acres to almost 1,000 acres.
Wow.
1,000 acres in like 5 hours, dude. It's
You-
crazy.
You know about this fire too, right?
Yeah, the freaking battery fire.
And it goes inland too. So we're like so blessed just because the
Yeah,
location,
because we're right here. Yeah, the toxic
the way
plume
the
of
coast
gas.
is shaped.
Yeah.
So
We're
good.
right out of the. This is one thing we can do better at as well, is introducing the topic to the listeners because they don't know that what we were just talking about because we didn't say any of the important details. But yeah, there was a battery fire very close to where we are recording this episode. But because of the location, the geography, and just the winds and the weather, microclimate, all of these things, it moved directly away from us. We're not in like a toxic plume of smoke, which,
And it also helps with the chemtrails.
yeah,
So same story. They're always blown inland. It's like
the
we're
chemtrails
in
don't
the
stick
magical
around here.
Bermuda
Yeah.
like triangle where the cleanest air
Yep.
possible.
Providing means for harmonious human existence since 2024.
You know, I noticed very interesting phenomena. I want to talk about phenomena, personal phenomena.
Yeah.
You know, I've been on the beach many times, watching ocean and sky and sun and waves and just watching people walking by because
Yeah.
I'm seeing and watching ocean. So there is a line, straight line between me and ocean.
Yeah.
And guess what? Through many years, I noticed the thing that about 20% of people, 15% of people or so, walking on the ocean to my eyesight line, and then they stop and turn around and go back. I never understood like why, and everywhere I look, it's like I'm projecting some kind of Rubicon line that 50% of reprobates or like people who give up too fast or changing their mind too fast.
So your
It's like
gaze
it's
becomes
like
like,
a
a
st-
boundary.
It's a rolling stone. Like
Yeah.
you knock on the rolling stone. How you say that?
A stumbling block.
Stumbling, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like looking there and like, oh, maybe we should go back. And then you go back. It's so funny. I looked on this like for watching this for years, and I always want to understand like how this works. So that's why I'm asking you. One of my personal phenomena. What do you think it would be, or what is the use of that, or what's the point of that, and why I have that?
Why do you have
Short like
the
opinion on the subject.
Why do you have the ability to
Stumble block with the eye side.
create a boundary, an invisible boundary with your gaze,
Yeah, what's up
with
with
your
that? What's the
eyesight?
point? Where? How can you use it? Like for what?
Wow. There we go, man. Yeah, like why?
What's the practical use
Yeah,
of it?
well, the practical use could be amazing things if you were hunting small animals. Could you imagine if you're some kind of you did in this life, you didn't need it too much, but if you were a cat, imagine you could control where the mouse goes with
I
your
mean,
eyes. This
yeah.
would be amazing, right? But
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you
Talking
don't.
about like real life, like
But
life right
you
now.
don't hunt people.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, what's the like, and from metaphorical perspective too. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, why do
would-
you
why
change
would-
direction of people?
Why?
Yeah.
It's so weird, man. That's how it works, at least.
It's good.
The main concept: do not fall into the self-admiration.
I love it, dude. I love it. I love it. One of the things that I've been thinking about is just like how we can, everybody's looking for like, oh, what's the purpose of my life? What's like life meaning, life purpose. There, you know, a lot of people, I think we were talking earlier about searching. People go to search for things, you know, and sometimes searching, great, helps you out, and sometimes searching is like it. You just get lost in the searching, right? And I think that happens to people with this like meaning of life, purpose of life stuff. Happens a lot when people get lost. I know that I felt very lost on that for many years. Felt like, you know, why are we here? I'm having this incredible experience of being a human being, you know, not always pleasurable, sometimes painful, sometimes very difficult, but I'm having this amazing experience, which I think is very rare. Most of the universe is not having an experience of being a human being. Most of the universe is not a human being. And most human beings are not me. In fact, none of them are. I have a unique look on reality, right? I have this extremely unique look on reality that I'm like I'm experiencing. So what is it all about?
That's your main value. So like we talked before, when you were trying to understand itself, imagine some of the facets is like a little bit like very small and very like cloudy, you can't really see anything, and some of them like big and super polished and shiny and can take like a lot of light in or or reflect back.
Yeah, reflect.
So it's like more power, like it's more like a your uniqueness only become a value from universe perspective when you start developing it. And you start developing it the moment when you self-realized.
That's one take, definitely. Yeah.
When you value your uniqueness more than like general opinion, that's when you become like kind of a little torch, you know, a little lighthouse, like sticking out, like a bulb, sticking out from the mass. Yeah. It's mind, again.
That is, yeah. No, the more you blend in with everybody else, the less you're making the most of this like unique life experience as a human being from your perspective. Nobody else's perspective. Nobody else has the same experiences than you, the same life history,
but it's
the same
it's
karma.
Really rooted, I feel, in your ratio of how much you consume and how much you produce. That's what is rooting. Because if you don't really consume third party, like data, you only produce your own like ID and unique angle all the time. You don't need a kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do sort of, but
external resources.
But I think everybody's using some external resources.
Yeah, but
you know,
the less you use, the more unique you become. That's what I mean.
Well, you have to, because you're finding your own way in life instead of finding it externally from, you know, getting people tell you, oh, you're supposed to get this type, you know, get a career, get a job, get a spouse, raise children, whatever, invest in these things, you know, whatever, and then you just take this from other people. Instead, you make your own choices.
That's right. We unplugged from the world, and we're going down.
Yes, look at this plane going dead circles, dead loops.
Cool.
Wow, plane in the sky, making loops. It's called dead loop, right?
Yeah, the loop-de-loop.
Loop-de-loop, je leer de verbe. Yesterday, I know you're gonna like it.
Wow, look at
because you're a Buddhist. Yesterday I came up with this incredible concept. Actually rediscovered again. And it's idea of if you have some kind of person, evil person that does something to you and you're not happy with it, or with someone, you wish them, instead of being bothered by it, it's like a psychological tool, you wish them the most out of this planet pleasurable experience, like orgasmic, like
I hope they go home and their lover makes love to them.
Yeah, like, and you just projected this in the moment,
Yeah.
and will make sure that they're not gonna have time for you. And for you, like,
Oh, yeah.
they're
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
so occupied with this out
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
the
I hope
world
they-
pleasure.
I hope they.
incredible experience. They
that's-
forget about you.
It's good. That is a wonderful practice. Yeah, somebody cuts you off in traffic, and you think, I hope they win the lottery,
So my-
because then they will be so happy and bothered by winning the lottery that they won't be bothering driving angrily and
yeah,
aggressively.
exactly. So it's like a weapon, basically.
Aggressive compassion.
Inflict goodness.
Inflict goodness. Let's make stickers.
Inflict kindness.
Inflict compassion.
Yeah, exactly. Inflict. Yeah.
I assault you with gratitude.
I tell you what? I tell you what? With gratitude, optimism is sustainable. Shakalaka!
You haven't done it yet with the air horn.
I need to.
Okay, au revoir.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I said the first one.
And today, we gather here tonight to say goodbye to all our people on many languages. Oh my God.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen.
Adios.
Honeyuneri kasayo.
Spochem.
Sayonara.
Do svidania.
No, do widzenia.
Do widzenia.
Do widzenia. Zajgin. Do
Do
swidania.
svidania. I read the wrong one.
Ma salamata.
Salamatinga.
Agur.
Alvida.
Do widzenia.
Bayartai.
Tamiet.
Huvasti.
Hydasti. Adieu.
Gule
Gule
gule.
Gule gule. Aloha.
Aloha.
I like how you do it like aloha last. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
Yeah,
man.
we always end on aloha. Aloha. Gule gule. Gule gule. Auf Wiedersehen.